One of the biggest stressors in our lives is people's opinions and judgments about us. The fear of rejection and ridicule causes massive stress. So much so that we do not even want to try. Fear of rejection in an interview, or the stress of a business proposal being denied, or of a relationship not working out. We must remember that most successful people have faced rejection in their lives, moments where the negative opinion of others could have broken them down. Oprah Winfrey, Les Brown, or even the mega star Amitabh Bachchan have also faced rejections in their lives. What others think of you is none of your business. Practicing the art of forgiving others for their transgressions against you is a great way of claiming back your power and authority by bringing the focus back on you. You build resilience in a way that you do not allow people's negative comments and judgments to distract you from your goal. Forgive and move on. If you're able to do this, then you will find yourself more empowered to manage stressful and adverse situations in your life. So don't give up your power and build resilience to forgive. Another stress maker is change. Many people experience stress while going through any form of change. Even thinking about change ties their stomach up in knots. Changing a job, changing house, change in lifestyle, change in financial status, or change in their role can be stressful for most of us. But we all know that change is the only constant in life. Having the right attitude towards change can save you from a lot of undesirable stress. So, how can you adopt the right attitude? The first step is to ask yourself what change you'd like to bring about in your life. Thinking very carefully about how this change would make you feel. You must pay special attention to any negative feelings or emotions that you feel at this point. Like, I'll never be able to do this. I'm definitely going to fail because I've failed in the past. Now, once you have these pesky negative thoughts and feelings centered in one place in your mind, you can now decide whether you should listen to them or not. It's highly likely that you will discover that these thoughts are unfounded and they are not worth listening to. Once you've learned to ignore these type of negative thoughts, you can now take the next step to create a plan to bring about change successfully. It consists of some very simple steps. The first step is set yourself a 30-day goal. What would you like to have achieved at the end of 1 month? Let's say you're trying to learn a new language. So a good 30-day goal could be, at the end of the month, I would be able to say 300 of the most common words in that language. Step number 2. Decide on daily changes that you will have to make in your behavior that will help you reach that goal. So, to reach your 30-day goal of learning 300 words in a new language, you could decide a fixed time each day when you would learn at least 10 of these words. Step number 3, create a list of hurdles that you preempt along the way. For instance, You might anticipate that there will be days when drilling words will feel like a boring, repetitive chore. When this happens, what will you do to get back on track? Maybe you could picture yourself mentally in this country, comfortably chatting away with a stranger in the new language. That will give you motivation. The fourth step, create accountability. Ask a trusted friend if he or she would be willing to test you on the 300 new words that you've learned in the new language. Or maybe you could commit to yourself that you will write a snappy introduction of your own self at the end of 30 days in the new language. And now finally, step 5, don't forget to measure your progress. Maintain a journal or even a video recording of your learning on a daily basis. On days when you're demotivated, you can have a look at this journal or these videos to motivate yourself. This is also a great reminder that you're making progress and that you're on track. By being more mindful about your feelings and emotions around change, and by using these simple 5 steps for preparing, you will be well on your way towards managing that change and achieving your goal. Now, the best thing is, once you've identified your strategy to navigate through changes a few times, you would have cracked your very own formula. In other words, you would have developed the mindset and the resilience to handle change and transitions in your life successfully. This could save you a world of stress and anxiety, and make sure that you look forward to change with excitement rather than desperation. We move on to discussing something very interesting. My next point for you is, don't try to please everyone. Being ready to sometimes displease is not a bad thing at all. In fact, it makes you stronger. Let me give you the example of someone I know who joined a new workplace. Eager to be in everyone's good books and to become popular, this person would try to please everyone she met by agreeing with them on everything and striving to do what would please others. Instead of becoming popular, her efforts had the exact opposite effect. People started to see her as someone who did not have a backbone and was only a people pleaser. Naturally, people stopped valuing her inputs as they did not see them as genuine. She lost respect and credibility in the eyes of her colleagues. Being sensitive to other people's feelings is an unquestionable virtue, but if overdone, it could backfire. If you want to develop mental resilience and save yourself from stressful situations, remember that it is okay to say no and disagree with people respectfully for valid and justifiable reasons. Another major cause for stress could be the prospect of taking risks. These risks could be related to your work, your personal life, or your own self. Leaving a comfortable job to start a business is a risk. Sending your children away to boarding school could be a risk. And so can the decision of migrating to a foreign country. We are often faced with situations that involve some form and level of risk. And you know that these could lead to a lot of stress. Resilient and mentally strong people seek to minimize the risks they take, and even when they have to do so, they are judicious about which ones to take. It is true that you will never get very far in life without taking a risk, and hence the need to develop the right attitude towards taking risks. Mitigation of risk starts with a careful and thorough analysis of the nature of risk and the consequences that it could lead to. Once all the elements of the risk are clear, you must take the right steps to minimize it. This is what we call taking a calculated risk. When you follow a logical, objective strategy towards any situation that involves risk, you can now approach it with more control and confidence. This attitude plays a huge role in minimizing stress related to any risk that you expect to encounter when faced with a new challenge or opportunity. Many of us experience emotions of despair, depression, and stress that stem from experiences in our past. It could be broken relationship, an unsuccessful attempt at business, or a severe assault on our health. Coming to grips with your past can be tough. And moving forward doesn't just happen naturally. You need to start by taking concrete steps and conscious efforts towards this. And a great place to start is by giving yourself the permission to enjoy life and be happy in spite of whatever happened in the past. You need to be wary of attitudes that keep you from experiencing change. For example, if you find yourself completely averse to even considering a new idea for a business because you failed in your last attempt, then think about changing that consciously. Make a list of the lessons that the last experience taught you and evaluate how you can use these lessons in your new venture. A great favor that you would be doing yourself is to make an honest evaluation of the mistakes you made in your previous attempt, be it a relationship or a business venture or anything else. Think about all the mistakes that you made and make a mental note of them. You can write them down as well if you want to and use them as a great reference point in the future. The important thing is to avoid making the same mistake twice. That is what smart and resilient people do. They see every mistake as a learning opportunity that makes them wiser, while at the same time avoiding making the same mistake twice. This saves you a lot of stress and anxiety as you traverse life. So how can you use this in your life? The next time something goes wrong, take some time to do an analysis of the situation. Ask yourself, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? What learning do I take forward from here? Set negative feelings aside and answer these questions objectively and honestly. By doing so consistently, you will have great clarity on how to act the next time. I use myself as an example here. I'm a passionate solo traveler, And I remember in my initial days of traveling, when I lacked experience, I made some costly mistakes. I ended up getting robbed, missing flights, struggling with heavy luggage, and getting into trouble due to lack of awareness of local culture and norms. I used every one of these mistakes as a learning to make me wiser while never allowing these experiences to kill my passion for traveling. I'm a wiser and more seasoned traveler now and find my instincts and wisdom coming to my aid in sticky situations, making my experiences so much more joyful and stress free. You can do the same.